lower funnel, upper funnel, full funnel, or mid funnel, are you going to increase, stay the same, or decrease? And 2 and 5 say they're going to spend more this year on lower funnel campaigns. But they're going to be doing it in a changing landscape where we're dealing with third-party cookie deprecation in Chrome, more data protection regulation than ever. We've talked about this already. Consumer privacy and data protection is really changing the ad landscape. So we also do research on that. So the next few slides draw on survey data from our Future of Identity report. Here we ask about advertisers' level of agreement with certain statements, and here you can see strong majorities agree that they're shifting money into walled gardens, as well as larger publishers over the past year because of limitations to things like audience scale and targeting capabilities across smaller sites and the open web. Here, these statements focus on targeting. We ask basically the same questions about measurement and find really similar results. So what are advertisers doing to target and measure this year? So first we'll look at targeting, next slide will be measurement. And you can see that first-party data is key to advertisers' targeting strategies. And that includes publisher-owned data, agency-owned data, and brand-owned data. So 3 different flavors of first-party data depending on whose standpoint you're counting the parties from. All of them are among the most important tactics that advertisers are using to target today. Same goes for measurement. They're relying on publisher-owned data more than any other type, followed by their own brand data and agency data. So first-party data really leading the way across both targeting and measurement practices. And so in this landscape where they're really focused on publishers that have valuable first-party data, they're making decisions about which specific media partners to invest their money in. And here we ask about the most important factors that go into that decision. And we've been asking this question in our macro report for over a year now. We really consistently find that the ability to reach my target audience and the cost of paid media are the 2 most important decision-making factors in terms of specific partners to invest with. And we ask this question about both media sellers and also ad tech partners. So really, the ability to reach the right people at the right price is driving decisions. And so then what does that actually translate into in terms of where budgets will flow this year on a per channel basis? CTV, very strong here. Social media also strong. Almost half of advertisers say they'll spend more on CTV and social this year than last year, and almost half say the same about retail media platforms. And I kind of think of these as the 3 major flavors of walled garden. You know, we're all used to talking about social platforms as walled gardens for years. What does that mean? It means that they have a lot of data that they allow advertisers to use, but they don't really expose. They pick and choose what you can do with it. They keep it very close to the vest, and they hide a lot of it. And CTV platforms operate in a really similar way, as do retail media platforms. So whether you want to think of them as true walled gardens or perhaps hedged gardens, which is a term I've heard a few times, they certainly are similar in that respect to the traditional walled gardens. And, you know, again, it's that valuable data that they want to keep for their own benefit that's also so beneficial to advertisers because it's their most important way to target and measure their campaigns. These are also some of the channels where advertisers are most likely to say ROI has increased over the past year. So more than 2 in 5 say social ROI has increased. 2 in 5 also say retail media ROI is up over the past year. So that's what's really continuing to drive additional investment going forward. And so then getting specifically into some more data about retail media, how advertisers are approaching it, what they're doing in it, and how. We have a report called our Digital Advertising for Retail report. This report really focuses on consumer goods advertisers. And I don't mean CPG, I just mean anybody who's selling goods at retail, so not B2B, not services. And 3 in 5 of those advertisers say they currently use retail media platforms for their campaigns. We do ask this question in research that we do among all advertisers, and we find a really similar share. Retail media is not just for endemic advertisers anymore. All kinds of advertisers have figured out that they can use that wealth of first-party data retailers have to find the right people at a reasonable price and get good ROI. So 3 in 5 are doing that. Where's the money coming from? Shopper, trade, and co-op marketing are all important sources of budget for retail media. Last year, they funded almost 1/5 of digital retail ad spending, according to our research. General digital budgets also play a role here, as do all kinds of other budgets, including national ad budgets, search, and e-commerce budgets. And here we ask these advertisers who already said they're using retail media how they're doing it. Are they buying ads only on retailer properties? Are they also buying ads on other websites using retailer-owned tech and data? And most are doing both. 3 in 5 are buying ads non-O&O. 80% are buying O&O retail media ads. 2 in 3 retail media platform advertisers say they buy these ads through a DSP, and that could include a generalist DSP or a retail media specific DSP. Most of them are also buying directly through a sales rep from the retailer, and also directly from the retailer through some type of automated self-serve platform. And I said at the beginning that lower funnel campaigns were going to be the most likely to see increased spending this year. What does that really mean for retail media campaigns specifically? It does mean driving sales for 2/3 of retail media advertisers. That's their most important lower funnel goal. Pretty simple, just drive sales. More than 1/3 are also looking to drive site visits. And then the last thing I wanted to share here, we do have advertisers rate specific retail brands on various criteria. And we do some regression analyses to understand which criteria are most likely to drive investment in specific partners. And we do find that perceived ROI or ROAS is the #1 driver of consideration for retail media brands. And that's followed by the ability to meet full funnel objectives. So even though they're focused on lower funnel objectives, they want the tools available to them to serve the full funnel. And they're also looking for good reporting capabilities. And as I said at the top, they're looking to reach the right audience. So I have a quick recap slide here for you. Few things that I talked about earlier. 7 in 10 advertisers say they'll spend at least as much this year as last year. Changes to identity practices that are available will set the stage for how they allocate those budgets, and they're going to focus on the ability to reach the right people at the right price. They're going to really rely on first-party data to do that, and retailers tend to have the most valuable and actionable data for them. Thanks.